Hi friends, it's me again. It's getting close to Christmas time. I was sitting up and I was thinking about, you know, how much money I spent in my crack addiction. Now, to me as a normal person, it didn't really seem like that much money. But when I sat down, I got to think about the money I didn't have for my daughter for Christmas. And I don't have a car. I want to get a motorcycle, and I just fucked off, money. But anyway, I started out. I had a job. The first job I got a job at the probation department in Torrance, California. I got a job at the probation department. And I wasn't really used to getting high that much. And I hated that job because I had to sit behind a desk and do the work and shit. And all these pretty white women running out with their titties all hanging out. I'm looking at titties when I'm doing the work. I couldn't hit the computer. So my friend came over my house one day. He had a tie joint. Hey man, let's smoke some weed before you go to work. No man, I can't smoke no weed. I gotta go to work, man. I had smoked some weed before I went to work, and there's this white girl named Linda, man, who they had me stacking some paperwork in the back because I couldn't do the hand don't work, and she come back there and she had this little skirt on, I'm looking at her and shit. I said, hey Linda, you want to take a hit of, you want to smoke some joint? Yeah, so anyway, we went out and smoked a joint. Well, she had some rock. She wanted to put some rock in the joint. We went at lunchtime, so when she put the rock in the joint. Very first time I hit that shit, I spent $200 fucking dollars. I'm not fucking shitting y'all. I spent $200 fucking dollars. And I said, what the fuck? Now, back then I had just a little bit of control. I would say I had a little bit of control because every time I've always had a job. I could get a job because I felt like, my dad told me if you don't have a job, you're not a man and all this kind of shit. But back before I knew I'm an addict now. But before I knew I was a compulsive addict, I didn't know all of these things. But I know when I got paid, I didn't like going to the bank. Fuck that shit. Take my money and go to the bank, get these motherfuckers my money. I'll put it in my pocket. I'll be all right. I start pulling out. For one day I had $300 in my pocket. A friend of mine wanted to go over this girl's house. He wanted to sit down and and do whatever they're doing. And they had some of this rock shit, whatever. Back in the 80s, it was real rock. It wasn't that bullshit. It was real cocaine. I mean, when you took your head off that shit, you would want to go find you some panties to get in. I mean, I don't give a damn what kind of panties. It was boy panties, girl panties. You just want to get some panties, goddamn. So anyway, I keep it real. So anyway, boy panties, girl panties, pull it out. Let's do it. Anyway, so I had like 250. I remember I got a ticket. I had a ticket to pay. I said, I got to pay. I had to go to Torrance, pay this goddamn ticket. I was down there in Torrance fucking with them white girls. Anyway, I had to go pay the ticket. And the girl said, gonna take a hit? I said, well, I got $250. Bam. I was put that, if you took your head off the motherfucking cocaine, she gave me your head and all that shit. I said, damn, that was okay. But I fucked off my $250. Now, I told myself, never, ever, ever again. Oh my God, no way, no way. Would I ever do that again? No, not me. I started working for Garrett Air Research about 2 weeks later. I got a job through a little temporary agency I worked for. So I got a job at Garrett. They wanted me to work in the store. They had all these different parts they wanted me to keep up with, which I was good because I've always been good with numbers. With spelling, I can't spell. I can't even spell my own damn name. But numbers, I've always been kind of good with numbers. And they had me up in there in Garrett Air Research. And it's just the devil, man. And I was walking away. I had a little car, sports car. And I was walking out of the job one day. This girl says, hey, man, I see you coming from Compton. Do you live in, yeah, I live in Compton. Yeah, well, can you give me a ride home? Oh, man, I turned Marlise or whatever her name. She had these big fucking thighs. She would always wear these short pants. Now, I had a girlfriend at the time. I'll tell her about my girlfriend. Now, let me go back. Now, me and Robin had got a bank account together. Oh. We started loading the bank account up together. Now, the lady was just as sweet, and I was really putting the money in the bank. And one day I decided to take a hit. I took a hit off that cocaine. Next thing you know, I'm at the Pussycat Theater looking at porno movies, getting my dick sucked by whoever was sucking the motherfucker. They smoking my dick and I was smoking crack. And they said, hey man, we put you out every time you come in here, you do that shit. They put me out the Pussycat Theater for smoking crack. Yeah, I would do that every Saturday. I'll give me $50 for the crack. Well, anyway, I was with this girl. We had $5,000 in the bank. In 2 weeks, I smoked up $5,000. Oh my God, I don't feel good about that. Anyway, she came to me, she said, baby, I went to the bank and my money was kind of short. You need to tell me where my fucking money went. I came up with this great idea. I lost the card the other day and I couldn't remember the number, so I stapled the 4-digit on the back. They must have got the money out the bank. She kind of believed me, but she didn't believe me. That was $5,000. I got a job at North Electronics with my bad ass. Don't know how they put me in the tool crib. I don't know nothing about no goddamn tools. They put me in the tool crib. I knew this guy who knew my dad who got me in the job. And I was supposed to work, but anyway, I was making like $1,000 a week. Now I was staying with her. We were staying in Coast. I was staying with her. Well, she liked that dick. I mean, I was treated like that dick. I was dicking her real good. You know, she would treat. In a minute, my mother told me when I was a little boy. She said, when you give a woman some good dick, she can't even think. And I never ever forgot that. So I knew if I could put my feet. Y'all know my mother's story. I'm a dicker. I'm dicking this lady, man, and she can't see nothing. So one day, when I got paid on Friday, we were supposed to go out to this club. She wanted to go out to this club, and I had about $100. I had $1,200 in my pocket, and I had bought like $50 for the crack. And I wanted her to going out to the club, just going out to the club. She comes home, she doubles back. I done took a hit. I got my porno on. I got my thing in my hand. I'm watching my porno. She busts in the door. That's why your dick don't get hard. You're doing that shit. Could you imagine? I'm so embarrassed. I'm sitting there, pipe still smoking. Shit. This is a pipe still smoking. I ain't doing nothing. Then she goes, this fun. She lays down on the couch. She opens her legs. She's like, come on, baby, give me some. I gotta say it. When I ain't doing that shit, I got the biggest. But if I take a hit off that shit, I need to tweet. I can't find that. I don't know where it go up. Where? I can't find that motherfucker. It's so little. And she knew. But anyway, we put some more money in the bank, another $5,000 in the bank, and I fucked it off. And she told her mother. Oh my God, I feel so bad. Oh, I feel so bad. Her poor mother. Mother said, "You motherfucker. You messed up my daughter's money. You need to stay with my daughter before I put this 45 in your mouth and blow your goddamn head off." And I was like, yes, ma'am. I fucked that up. I had the most beautiful 260Z sports car because I built that motherfucker. I like to tell you I know I could have got 25, 30 grand for that car. I like to tell you I got that kind of money. I sold that motherfucker for a $40 rock. I could hear the cars zooming around the neighborhood, and I ain't got no car. I done ran out of dope. I had to call my sister to come get me. Where's your car? Luckily, that time I got it back because the person I was staying with knew the guy he called the police and the sheriff made him give me my car back. My ass went back to the same neighborhood. He wasn't there. Somebody else was there. No, that was the time. That's the time I got for this is the last time I saw the car for a $40 rock, $40 with the cocaine, like a $35,000 car, and I could hear him doing around the hood. I never saw that car again. What other car? I had a Buick Somerset Regal. I let a guy use it. I was living in Texas. I could let a guy use it for a $20 rock. Next thing I know, I see him at the gas station. The police pulling the seats out the car, everything out the car. I had about a $20,000 car. Bam, that's gone. So $35,000, $20,000 plus the two $5,000. We add them up. Norfolk. If I worked for Norfolk, I was making. Let's say I was making $900 fucking a week, and I was smoking up 700 of that shit. I couldn't see that. For some reason, thanks to the grace of God, I could maintain. For some reason, I could. They call me a function. I could function. You know, I could kind of keep a car and do some things. But I always had for some reason, I always had a nice woman with a good job, a nice lady, because I was dicking. I know how to dick, and I know how to, excuse my expression on the YouTube, I know how to suck a motherfucking pussy. So I learned at a young age. So that's what I was doing. Some women do it. I learned how to do it like a man. A gigolo. My grandmother say, you fucking gigolo. I was gigolo with that. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the money I stole. Oh my God. My grandmother, I went in her purse. I took the money, I went to him. My grandmother was the best thing, was the best thing I've ever had, the best grandmother. And I told her, I said, Grandma, I got a drug problem. I'm so sorry for taking your money. I'm so sorry. And she said, I love you, man. I ain't worried about that money. I'm just glad you told me the truth. I fucked up for $200 man. I sold two $1,500 bass guitars. This right here, I never told nobody. Somebody in my family, I just got engaged. $10,000 ring. I got high enough sold for $50 rock. That's $24,000. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt. But anyway, changes of it. That one hurt. God forgive me. God forgive me. Anyway, I was thinking about all the cigarettes I bought. They called me Cisco. I drank fucking Cisco wine by the fifth like it was fucking Kool-Aid. Wait, let me back up. I started driving a truck. And the poor people would just give me money. If I didn't have no money, I didn't have nowhere to stay. I lived in a fucking truck. Hey man, I need $200. Look, I have been all over this fucking country buying crack. They should have had me I could have been millionaire. If they'd had me for a tester, just the police would say, hey, let's have you test. I know where all the dope spots is in all the major cities in the whole fucking United States. And they got the universal language. They see me pull up in the truck, just like the nigga, this is what they do. And do that, and they already know it. I'm pulling up, I'm get your ass in the truck, I'm spinning. Okay. I worked for Best Pack Warehouse. I worked for Best Pack Warehouse for 4 years. I made $600 a week. I had nowhere to stay. Every fucking week I smoked the whole fucking. So let's do the math. We do the math. But for 3 years, $600 a week. 3 years straight, I fucked up $600. Not counting the money I was borrowing for the cigarettes and the wine and the hookers. Oh my God. I fucked around one time and went out to that fucking bunny ranch thing they had at the goddamn, I got an income tax check. Income tax check, I had $7,000. I went to the bunny ranch over there. I went and got me three big old titty white girls. Three big old titty white girls. And the white girls was smoking crack like I was. And let me tell you something, I like to say I had more fun. I didn't get no pussy. I just smoked crack. But the guy was outside the door. He didn't know about it. He smoked all outside the door. Just let me smoke like I want to smoke. And I got so high one night, I couldn't survive. And I called my sister. I said, baby, I need to come home. I can't take this shit. She called, get him home. They gave me money to get on the bus. I smoked that up. Well, another $200. Bam, another $200. Gone like a motherfucker. Up in motherfucking smooth. No wonder I ain't lost my motherfucking mind. Oh my God. So when I first got on SSI, they gave me a check for $3,700 motherfucking dollars. This is what I said. I'm gonna take a couple of hundred, I'm gonna sit it to the side. I'm gonna my mama hold this for me. Genie mother said, hold that for me. Mother said, hold that for me. I'm not gonna come get it. And goddamn me, in 2 weeks, I was knocking on everybody's door at 3 o'clock in the motherfucking morning. Give me my motherfucking money. Give me my motherfucking. I went through that money in 3 fucking weeks. Now that's not talking about the alcohol, the hookers, and the cigarettes that went with that shit. Oh my God! So we already talking about these 250 dollars. We already talking about 250 dollars. Now I got a job going cross country. That year I made 48 grand, and I smoked up, I know, 40 of it. I know I did. I know I fucked up for it. I know I did. And I would get my money, and I'd pull up in the truck stop, and the little girl would get on the mic, and the devil would just send them young, you know, I'm always a pervert. He'd send them young girls, that's I was in Oklahoma City, the girl told me they was 6. I said, baby, you 16, you too young. That motherfucker, that white girl, she pulled out there knocking and over there. I saw that hair and that thing. I said, well, how much money you need? I mean, we in it. There we go again. I fucked off another $600. I was, God, I fucked off a lot of money. God, I fucked off a lot of money. I got to the point, I'm not interested in, I used to like, cause I like Porsches, man. I know every model, every engine, the tires are going on. I'm a Porsche fanatic. And I fucked off enough to get 3 motherfucking Porsches, you know? I have a baby that's 18 years old. And pretty much I ain't done shit for her. I give her, every time I see her, I give her $100, which is once a year, once every 2 years. And I figure that's gonna be okay. That shit ain't okay. It don't feel okay. It's not okay. And I tell myself, but see, now I used to get Social Security. Now I don't get no Social Security no more. So now I got to come up with the money to pay the rent. And most of the time I make it, but I always gotta lean on my brothers. He's been coming through. I gotta lean. You know, but I think about, I've been there. When I first became homeless this time, for 3 years straight, do the math, they gave me $960-something a month. I smoked up every fucking, and you can handle what it state. I would get my check, I'd get a room, I'd get me a couple of white girls. We smoke up all the motherfucking money. I did it week after week after week after week, and I kept telling myself, this week gonna be different. Now wait a minute. Now this week I'm just gonna get 120. This week I'm just gonna get one dime. This week I'm just gonna get one little hit, and I'm not gonna never do that. I'm not gonna do that no more. And I ended up smoking the whole goddamn. I said, you know what? Let me tell you about telephones. Oh my God. Metro P says the girl down at the place, when she see me, she's so happy, he gonna buy another phone. I bought a phone for 2 years. Every fucking month I pay $100 to get the goddamn phone to and get $100 for the phone. Everything, and the next month I done sold the goddamn phone and I gotta get another phone. When she see me coming, Mr. Banks, I got one for new. Exactly. I got one. I knew you was coming. I got one for you. Oh my God, the people know me by name. I'm so embarrassed. I'm looking at fucking people. Come in there, motherfucker. But I kept telling myself, now next month you don't give me, they don't give me that. They told me to talk me, and they talked me into spending $300 on it. I said, I spend $300 on the Galaxy X5, whatever. I get the $300 Galaxy. And I know I done spent my money, but goddamn me, before the night's over, the nigga bought the 50 to 300, and he gave me a $50 rock for a $300 Galaxy. That $300 Galaxy, that motherfucker was gone. I said, I can't win for losing with this shit. But I tell you what, I ain't gonna do it no fucking more. Goddamn me, next month before the, but I got to, when the day come on the first, goddamn the money come on at 11 o'clock, I'm at the liquor store. That dude live at the liquor store. He got the bottle of brandy on the table because he know what I want. It's already up there. He know he gonna make the motherfucker save some money in the first tail, because then he gonna pull $200 out the first tail. He gonna spend some money. Dope man waiting for me on the corner around the liquor store. I'm going there, the little white girl, she knows, she like just suck on my dick. She waiting on me. They all waiting on me. This month, I'm just gonna spend just $100. I'm gonna just let me know it. Now I'm gonna show y'all this time. I'm just gonna spend $100. That's it. Y'all not gonna guess us right. I'm just gonna. Before you knew it, the 2 days later, the whole goddamn 900 gone. I did week after week after week after week after week. And then I stopped to the next week. And I did a week after week after week after week. But the thing is, I'm laughing about it now because I'm laughing about it now because it's insane. But that's that's addiction, man. This motherfucking crack. And let me tell you the funny thing about the motherfucker. When you hit the motherfucker, man, when you hit that motherfucking pipe, let me tell you something, y'all. For y'all that never did it, don't ever fuck with that motherfucking pipe. Cause that motherfucking pipe feel better than busting a nut in a 16-year-old girl. I'm telling you that shit. But after that one, you don't get nothing. And only you chasing. And you can't get it. And I take a hit. And here come the rats. I'm not scared of men. I'm terrified of rats. I don't know why. I take a hit, I get pregnant. Here come the rats. I'm looking for the rats. One time, me and a friend of mine were smoking crack, and she had this closet was into the side. And I don't know what made that little motherfucker come around the corner. He looked at me like, yeah, motherfucker, I know you're scared of me. Man, I jumped up on top of that goddamn toilet. If that woman, I never heard a woman, she said, you fucking pussy, you scared of a fucking man. I was so scared of this fucking rat, dude. My fucking leg, I couldn't move. I mean, that scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. But now where I'm standing now, it keep me from running at night because I'm paranoid. I ain't going to get no trouble. When you walk down the streets over here, you see men them goddamn rats getting around. I ain't going to. How did I get on? Anyway, I just love to sit here and talk. So we licked the money I spent. I mean, dude, I spent. God. I know I could have had a house. I could have had a black 911, and I could have had a black GT. I want a GT3 now. I want a black GT3 with custom rims on it. I wanted it sitting in my damn garage with a custom tail and the roll bar and all that shit. I could have paid cash for, what are they, 120,000? I could have paid cash for one of them motherfuckers, and could have paid cash for a house. I love Santa Monica. Santa Monica, and I like Redondo Beach and Santa Monica. Or Malibu. I could get bought a house over there and have me some little big leg white girl. We could have been kicking back, could have been going to church, and could have bought a little Mercedes. I like the commercial when the guy, he says the lady buys 2 watches and he goes on buy 2 trucks. He says, I got you a truck and me a truck. And I sit there, I cry. I'm like, damn, man, I wish I could do that. Man, I wish I could do that. Be a lady, and just give her everything, And then I met this bonehead. I met this girl. She's hot, dude. Let me tell y'all, she's hot. She's blacker than that motherfucker. She's blacker than a black police. You ever seen a black police truck? She's blacker than a police truck. But she fine. I mean, she used to tumble. That motherfucker got leg, and she the way she walked. So I met her. I take her to the house. She want to sit and watch scary movies all goddamn day. Oh, so anyway, I want to hit. I take her over there. Let me tell you how I fucked that off. I bought a motherfucking fifth of liquor. Oh my God. Took her to the beach. I accused her looking at some girl, and then we come home. She finds my crack pipe sitting on the counter with a rock. She said, oh my God, did you do that? Oh no, you people, I would have never came over. You do that? The shame, the remorse, and the guilt is undescribable. I feel this fucking low. She said, you a nice guy, man, but you do that, I don't want to be. I know what y'all do when y'all get high on that shit. You'll fuck anything. I was so hurt. I finally met a nice girl. Anyway, that's what happened. So all in all, here comes Christmas time. I didn't have 50 cents in my goddamn pocket to buy cigarettes one. I said, well, I was glad because we couldn't visit nobody on Thanksgiving because I didn't have $100 to give my family. I didn't have it. Oh my God. So that's for him. And I like to come because I like the people that come to me. I know my friends are there. What's up, y'all? I know my friends are there, and because they always see me. I just met I never get you guys' name. What's up, dude? What's up, girl? I know you're there. I mean, come say hi to me when you see me. I got more stories, but I appreciate you guys listening to me because it gives me a chance to get off of this shit And I hope the dude to get behind the camera ain't gonna tell nobody, because I sure hope nobody don't know. If y'all hear me talk about, let me tell you what I appreciate about you guys. You guys never accuse me, you never down me, you never talk about, you guys always give me praise, because I know I'm saying things that you guys want to hear, because you guys do the same thing. Yo, I'm not the only one, motherfuckers. I know y'all out there. I see you out there saying,
except a lot of people don't like you.
He's telling my story.
A lot of people.
I'm telling your story, homie. Anyway.
A lot of people come down on you because you had that relationship with a young girl.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Everybody got skeletons in their closet. Ain't nobody in this world ain't never did nothing. It's a whole lot of shit, other shit I ain't did. I'm finna, what me and my buddy had me there, I'm finna tell it all to y'all. Because you guys, you can process that shit however you want to, but me, it showed me, I'm getting off that shit, and it's doing me some good. So
are these talks helping you?
So fuck y'all. No, y'all my friend. No. So fuck y'all. No.
Are these talks helping you?
Oh, they're helping me tremendously. Because they have me on psych meds. And I had one psych med had to take 3 times a day. And I told I don't take that shit anymore, because what I needed to tell the truth. They told me one time, you can't poke holes in the truth. God loves the truth. God don't love a lie. God loves the truth. You got to tell the truth. People, if you want to get some therapy, tell on yourself. That's the best way. Therapy, it ain't got, don't worry about what nobody thinking, what nobody gonna say. Tell on yourself. Put your shit out there on the plate and let motherfuckers eat it. However they process it, oh well, you feel better. But that, I'm out.
I find relationships fascinating.
They are fascinating.
They're just, I think everyone finds them fascinating.
Yeah, they're hard and fascinating, and yeah.
Man, are they hard.
Yes.
They are hard.
They are hard, but they shouldn't be that hard.
No, they shouldn't be. They could be very easy, right?
I don't think it's ever really easy. I think it's always going to be a challenge, but I don't think that it should be so hard that, I mean, you should have more pleasure from them than not.
Mm-hmm. What is this? If there's one secret, what would be the secret?
Oh man,
to oversimplify.
I think the subject of my book, it begins with you. It's not, you have to always maintain your relationship with yourself and learn the skills, and not look to a relationship to save you.
Sure.
But to see what you can actually bring to the relationship. A lot of people think that they go to a relationship to get happy instead of, how can I bring happiness to the relationship?
Yeah, I see so many relationship help. I guess they mean well, but there's so many dark
things out there right now. How to get how to manipulate this person to
exactly.
get
really dark games that people are playing. It's like,
it's awful.
I just go into relationships like, I'm just going to be really nice to you.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy that, then we might be a good match, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
it. It isn't like I'm trying to make sure that I'm not the one that likes the other one less, so that I'm in control. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's so well. It's really crazy.
Because I mean, honestly, I think, is it better to love or be loved? And I think it's better to love.
I think you get more out of loving than to be loved.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, I've been loved before, and it's like that kind of doesn't do it for me as much as, I mean, if you can find, I've said this many times, that you want a healthy relationship is where both partners feel like they're getting the better end of the deal.
Yes, definitely. I think that's really well said. I mean, also a lot of people don't choose partners well. They
Amen.
don't. I always say there's only two things you need to know about relationships or before you pursue a relationship with someone. The health or the quality of a relationship is dependent on 2 things. Number 1, who you choose to partner with. And then number 2, who you decide you're going to be in that relationship. Who you decide to be and how you decide to show up. Those two things. That's the secret. But most people don't choose the right partner for them because they don't understand the gravity of that choice. And they think, if I'm attracted to you, well, that's enough. But to make a relationship work long term, there has to be more than love. There has to be more than attraction.
Are you ideally looking for someone who is you have a lot of things in common with, or are you looking for somebody who's going to force you to grow?
It's a combination of things. A lot of things in common, not so important. What's important is that you have core values that are similar. That you have core values. The rest, not so important. And then forced to grow, I think forced to grow, and also someone who you can grow with instead of grow apart.
It becomes complex very quickly.
Well, I think, if you were to think about hiring a business partner, what steps would you take before deciding who you would hire to be your business partner? You would want to know about this person's character. You would want to know about some of their habits. You would want to know what their values are, what their vision is for the company, for the business that you're building together. And you would want to know that you two are a good fit. Not the same, but a fit. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with a life partner.
And sometimes complementing each other, like having
absolutely
strengths that are not your strengths.
Absolutely. That's very important. Yeah. Super important. And people don't think about that. I mean, I know I never did before doing this work. It was more just like, we have a connection, and that's important. Or we have intense chemistry. All of that is important, but that's not enough to sustain a relationship over the long term. You have to be like partners in crime, in a way.
And childhood plays a huge part in all of this, right?
Childhood plays a role. Our past experiences play a role. And then, our beliefs play a role, and our values play a role. Lots of things play a role. So it's about choosing well. And I think that probably the most important decision a person will ever make is who they decide to spend their lives with.
It seems a lot of people will choose love before they've done the work on themselves. Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. After my recent loss, I was completely thrown off. I couldn't sleep, my mind was scattered, had a hard time working and focusing, so I started seeing a therapist. And just having a space to talk with someone who helps you see things from a different perspective helps you to feel grounded again. And slowly, I started coming back to myself. And that's what therapy gives you, the ability to meet yourself with patience and compassion, especially when things don't go the way you expected. I think therapy is one of the best investments a person can make in themselves. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier. You just fill out a short questionnaire and get matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime at no extra cost. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, it's a platform you can trust. Click on the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/soft white underbelly to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you for watching. It seems a lot of people will choose love before they've done the work on themselves.
Yeah, and look, there isn't, let me go work on myself and then I can be in a relationship. Every circumstance is different. Like, let's say you go through a difficult breakup or a divorce. Ideally, what one does is take some time to self-reflect. What was my role in this? What worked? What didn't work? What did I learn about myself? What it is that I need and what it is that I want? What do I need to work on? And for some people, they do need to do some more rigorous work on themselves. But most of the time, it's self-reflection. It's maybe taking some time. But you could do so much work on yourself, but you're never going to be 100% prepared, because it's when you're in the relationship and relating to another sovereign person. That's where the real work is. So when we say, well, no one has done any work on themselves, it's like no one's done any, like, hey, what's my contribution to, the shit that I've been a part of? That's really the work on oneself. Or what are some of the things that are getting in the way of me having the relationship that I want? Do I love men but also hate them? Do I love women but also hate them? Did I see my parents argue in a particular way and I've inherited that style of arguing or that style of conflict and it's not helping me, so I have to go in a different direction? There are lots of people out there who are walking around having never asked themselves these questions, having never taken the time to reflect on themselves and their contribution. And those are the people you want to stay very far away from when it comes to a relationship.
Fear shapes so much of our behavior in these kind of relationships. Fear of getting rejected, fear of getting hurt, fear of everything.
Yes.
And it cripples some people, it seems. What are the most common mistakes you see people making in romantic relationships? Well,
the fear of not being good enough, which then leads to this sort of pathological fear in some people that they are going to be deprived of love. They're going to be abandoned or whatever it is. Some people are afraid being consumed by the relationship. But that's also, a lot of people, they either fear losing themselves or they fear losing the other person, right? But mostly what people are afraid of is not being good enough. Some of the biggest mistakes. Selfishness. And that's, it's an interesting thing because you can actually be a very generous, selfless person and be known for that and be a wonderful friend. But what happens when you're in a romantic relationship? If we're insecure, if we are having a hard time, we tend to only focus on what we're not getting and we don't focus on what we're not giving. Some people, they are a really common thing, and people do this to protect themselves. They will hyper-focus on everything that's wrong about their partner and not see what's right. There's so many different patterns. A lot of people have the pattern, both men and women, of wanting to rescue someone. They think, I can change this person, or my love can transform them, or, I can fix them. That's really, really common. And I see that in both men and women.
I heard something recently on social media where someone said something about when you see potential in someone, what you're actually seeing is what you would do if you were in their shoes.
Interesting.
And it doesn't mean that the person you're seeing these possibilities in doesn't mean that person has any of the ability or the inclination to do these things.
That's an insightful comment. No, it's very true because we're projecting all the time.
You're projecting what you would do in their shoes.
Yes. And you are imagining who they could be instead of loving who they are right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of people do that. This is very common. They don't see the person who's right in front of their face. They see who they could be based on these projections. Yeah. That's a very dangerous thing because what happens then is then you get into a relationship and the other person starts to resent you because we can feel when someone's trying to change us. And then we start to resent them because they never actually become who we want them to be. So you really have to love the person as they are. You can see their potential, but you have to be okay with who they are today. And if you're not, they are not a project. But a lot of people get into relationships unconsciously turning their partner into a project.
Do you think more women do that or men do that to their partners?
I think, I used to think it was more women who do that, but I'm not quite sure because, but it looks different. You know, the conquest for a man who dates women would be, let me find the woman who's just like a broken bird or messed up, and I will be her protector and fix her, and I'll save her. Yeah. Women who date men in particular, they're not really looking to protect. They're looking to transform darkness into light. They're looking to transform the person into the protector. And they think unconsciously, I will be the inspiration for this person's change. And if I'm the inspiration for their change, I am worthy. Same thing with a guy who wants to rescue the broken bird. He gets his significance from being able to do that. So that's where he sees his worth, because, you know, sometimes we can't even imagine being loved for who we are, so we figure out a way how to be needed.
Does that ever work out? Where somebody's going to gain their self-worth from saving somebody?
No, it never works out. The relationship might last, but it's not going to be a thriving relationship.
You're just propping the person up.
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of stress that comes with that relationship, because you can't really save anyone. People have to save themselves. And I mean, you can support someone in their pursuit of making themselves better, but you can't save someone. And then you never feel satisfied. You never feel fully satisfied, or you're stressed out, or the person is always, it creates a sort of codependency is what it does, which is very similar when you have an addict and a non-addict in a relationship. It takes on a very similar form, which is, you know, you want the addict to change. Your whole life becomes about changing this person, or your whole life becomes about this person. So your whole focus is on them. And then they're not changing, so you start to lose your sense of self and meaning inside the relationship. So can it work? Well, it depends your definition of working. It could last a long time, but no one's really happy in it. It's a dynamic, and it's not a good one.
And now with technology and all the things that have changed in our world, it's like relationships look very different than they did 10, 20 years ago.
Yes.
Is that making it harder or easier?
What makes relationships harder if we're talking about technology is, you know, people can be on social media and interact with strangers in a way that we've never done before. There's temptation there, and that wasn't there before. People are distracted. They're just way more distracted. And so they're not connecting. And so I think that's the biggest role that technology has played in modern relationships.
It also appears that love is more transactional than ever before. Is that my imagination?
Yeah, I have to think about that. It depends how you look at it. Relationships, today people are looking for a soulmate. Back in the day, people were just looking for their like someone who they can build a family with. And I wouldn't say that that's transactional, but there's almost this unspoken agreement. We're getting together because we're building a family. Today, it's like, are you going to complete me? Are you my soulmate? Are we going to go conquer worlds together? And so that is that is how I see it. I think the transactional part that maybe you're seeing, and I'd be curious to know, is, hey, I'm going to bring all this to the table. What are you bringing to the table? That kind of thing. Like, how much value you're going to add to my life, and I need to see how much value you're going to add to my life, and then I can decide, if you're right for me. So that feels rather transactional. Yeah,
but for me personally, I see it as relationships have always been transactional. Whether you're bringing home some meat to feed the family, or she's doing, so there's always some give and take. But that doesn't mean it blocks out love and
Right, but if it becomes too transactional, there's no passion.
There are
there's no
certainly
passion.
those kind of relationships
Yeah,
too.
because
But
people are
I just
keeping
think
score.
transaction is such a terrible term.
I know, but yeah, there is an understanding. It's a partnership. It's like building a business. It really truly is.
Yeah.
And you have to understand which each other's roles are. Like who's going to pay the bills, who's going to do that, who's going to be the person who looks out for the family, who protects the family, in what way. Yeah. These are the conversations that people don't have.
So it seems like there's a lot of conversations that aren't had in romantic relationships.
Too many. It's like, you're hot, I'm hot, we're attracted to each other, we've got this great connection, we laugh together, let's get married.
So many unspoken things.
Yeah, it's insane.
So we don't talk about that, whereas that's probably the most important thing to talk about.
It is the most important thing to talk about.
What were the struggles in your life that led you into this work?
Yeah, well, I taught yoga for many, many years, born and raised in Manhattan, New York City. And I always had this internal struggle where I always felt like I was meant for something bigger than just being someone's wife. But yet, call it conditioning or just whatever, I also really wanted to get married. Like that was important to me. Get married, have kids, and go that route. And I wasn't raised with this. I wasn't raised with this idea of like, Jillian, you can do anything you want and like just like reach for the stars kind of thing. So I taught yoga, loved it in the beginning, then felt very dissatisfied with it. It wasn't enough for me, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I wanted to get married, so I met the man who would become my husband and then my ex-husband. And it was very difficult. It was the relationship that really revealed all the problems that I had always had with my father. That was the relationship that just like mirrored my childhood relationship with my father and my teenage relationship with my father.
Is that what we do in relationships, is try to recreate?
Sometimes, not always.
Not always.
Psychologists and psychiatrists love to say that every single relationship is a recreation from childhood. I don't believe that. I mean, I have friends and family who are in relationships with people and they're not recreating any drama from childhood. I've had relationships where I wasn't recreating any drama from childhood. But if you're really struggling in your relationship, then chances are your childhood, there's something in your childhood that's coming up for sure. So relationship with your mom, relationship with dad, 100%. And that was a really tough relationship. I thought I was so mature getting into it and that everything was going to be great. And it was like the same thing. If he was upset, he wouldn't tell me, he would pull away. And I thought I was the problem, or that like I wasn't worthy. So I didn't speak up. And it's very important for women to speak up in their relationships because we're taught not to. And he decided, one morning I woke up to a miscarriage, and he decided to break up with me over text that afternoon. He wasn't coming home.
Same day?
Same day, that afternoon.
That's sweet.
It was fun. And I'd also just discovered that my mom only had a couple months left to live. She had terminal cancer. So that day, June 2nd, 2014, the day before what would have been our 2-year wedding anniversary, everything fell apart. And I became obsessed with figuring out what makes a relationship work, because I was devastated. I was scared. I thought, this person wasted my time, all these stories in my head, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I decided I was going to figure out what makes a relationship work. And I've been obsessed with it ever since.
It's amazing how pain, extreme pain, the pain of heartbreak, is high octane fuel to channel into hopefully something productive. in your career, in your life,
Yes.
in your development.
Depending on who you are, it has the potential to be the high octane fuel.
It could also,
or you can let it destroy you.
Lead you to drink or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been able to channel that into this project and other things before it that all came from that kind of heartbreak.
Yeah.
And it's been the best thing ever. You almost want to get your heart broken again just to like.
I know, just to get motivated
just
again.
To get motivated because it's the best motivation on earth.
Yeah, it truly is. Yeah. You have to flip the script. You have to find meaning in the pain. And I found that helping others was the path to truly healing for me. So I'm a teacher. That's who I am. And so I thought, as soon as I started to learn more about it, I was like, this is what I have to do. I have to coach, I have to teach, I have to educate people on this. And I transitioned out of teaching yoga and doing this full time. People don't really understand that about pain. When we're in pain, and look, there's some things that happen in life, as I'm sure you know, that are very legitimately horrible. But we get so in our heads, it's like we can't escape ourselves, we can't escape our thoughts. And the best way to heal is to help others who are in more pain.
Yeah, there's wisdom there, because I think we look so often like we're trying to find out what's going to make us feel better. What's going to make us feel better? When will I heal from this? And by helping others, that is the key.
It is the key, because it gets you out of your head so fast. Because it's such a reprieve. It's like, oh, I don't have to think about my problems right now. So let me help this other person with their problems. Mm. And then I think that's where meaning and fulfillment comes, where you feel like you are, in your own way, contributing to something outside of yourself.
Which also makes you a much more attractive partner.
I think so, yeah. I think that no one wants to be in a relationship with someone who's got nothing going on. And look, someone might be, their meaning is in being a parent, whatever it is. It doesn't matter it doesn't have to be a career. But everyone, people think that the path to fulfillment is a relationship. And a relationship should add to your life significantly. Otherwise, way too labor intensive to waste your time. But fulfillment is an inside job, and your partner is not responsible for fulfilling you. And I think what happens is that when we meet someone, we're excited about them, and it's a very beginning, that lust that transitions into falling in love is intoxicating. And it's highly emotional, and it's incredibly irrational. And we think unconsciously that this relationship, this person, is actually rescuing us from all the uncertainty and pain of our life. And we think they're amazing. Immaturity is, let me project my entire fantasy, like dream person, dream guy, dream girl onto this person. And then as soon as I find out that you're actually a human being with flaws and, your level of consciousness is very similar to mine. You're not this highly evolved, because people want to find this highly evolved, angelic person who's going to come into their life and make everything okay for them. People know that's not true when they intellectualize it, but we have this sort of hunger for that. And we have to mature our understanding of love and not project fantasies onto these people, because that transition from the falling in love stage to the more committed stage, regular stage of the relationship is very hard for people, because they think, oh, you're just a human being like me. And then they get crushed with these, by the weight of their failed expectations. And so no one's perfect. Figure out 3 to 5 things that are absolutely non-negotiable for you, and be open-minded and 100% flexible on the rest. And then you might get into a relationship and discover like this isn't working, and that's part of life. But no one can make you fulfilled. Falling in love is temporary. Then you enter a different stage of love. But that high, intoxicating feeling doesn't last. And a lot of people can't handle that. I prefer that it doesn't last because it also is very distracting and ungrounding and almost manic. I prefer to be grounded. And I think that that's what people really need to see and to experience, is that grounded feeling in a relationship.
Has there been a time in history where for a woman, the idea or the pressure to marry and have children has been less than it is right now?
I think there's less pressure to marry and have children now than
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So there are still far more women who feel pressured, who want to have a family and feel the biological clock than not. Even though there's women who are entrepreneurs now, and it's very, very different. But there's still that pressure. I think that women face a different challenge, which is, how do I develop myself? And I want to pursue these dreams, and I want to pursue this work, and I want to pursue this career. And holy shit, I'm 39, and I don't have a partner, and I want a child. And I think that's happening a lot.
Women have done an excellent job of thriving in a man's world.
Yes.
But the price they pay for that is, it's 39 years old.
Yeah, I'm 39 or 40, and I don't have a child. And it's very challenging for women. I think that women are in a very particular fork in the road, so to speak, of, where do I go? Do I pursue this, or do I pursue being a mom? And some people figure out how to do both, but it's quite challenging for the modern woman.
And having a child in your early 20s really slows down your.
Oh, yeah. And who has kids in their early 20s anymore? I mean, I guess some, but that's not that common.
No.
I mean, I know people having babies in their 40s.
That seems like it's more common than in the 20s.
Yeah. I mean, at least in the bigger cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men seem to be almost like needier in the relationships than women nowadays. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think
maybe they've always been that way, but
no, I think men need to feel like they are needed, and the more independent women become and not needing a man to support them. I think a lot of men are confused, well, then what is my role then in this relationship? But what they need to understand is your role is to be a protector. Your role is to be emotional support. Your role is to be a friend. And it may be that your role is not to be the provider, but providership can go well beyond money. But I think there is some confusing. And then there's confusing messages, and also there's the messages of, women being like, well, I don't need a man. And it's funny because if you are a woman who's always been taught by your family and by society that you can't survive without a man, and your whole life, or maybe your whole teenage life or young adult life, you were always like searching for the man and searching for the high value man that's going to take care of you. And then one day you wake up, I mean, it's not literally one day, but metaphorically speaking, one day you wake up and you're like, wow, I actually have dreams of my own. Wow, I can make my own money. Wow, I can stand on my own 2 feet. Wow, I've got great friends. You have to understand from that perspective, it's incredible. It's very empowering. A woman can get drunk on that kind of empowerment. It feels really good because it doesn't feel great to feel like you can't have a life unless you have a man in it. and we're speaking very heteronormatively here, but I think there's gay women too who would think this too, like the relationship, the love. But if we continue on with this, well, I don't need a man, well then how is the men listening to those messages, how are they going to feel relevant? How are they going to feel important? It's like, okay, well, maybe you don't need a man for your, like maybe you can be happy without the relationship. And that's great, because I'm always trying to help people to be happy without the relationship. But if you can't see how having a relationship with a man or a woman, that can't give you things that you wouldn't be able to find on your own, then that's a problem. Then your partner's never going to feel important to you. So the neediness, I think that's the confusion of men being like, how can I be significant to you in your life? What do you think?
It's complicated. You know, I am a single man, and it's like it's a little different situation now, because I have this. You become like almost like a little celebrity on social media. So now my life is very different than it was 20 years ago.
Right.
But I guess the dynamics are still in place. I like all the options I have now. Mm-hmm. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Dating has never been easier. Mm-hmm. it's just, so that's
fun.
That's fun, right? It's much easier. But then there's still the work of finding somebody who's a good match and all of that. And it's hard. It's hard.
It's never been easy.
No, it's interesting. I find myself, what we talked about earlier, where you're recreating your relationships with your parents. And my relationship with my mom was so beautiful that you would think that that's what I'm recreating with some of the women that I get involved with. And that's been the case in some of them. But then also my relationship with my dad, which was much more headbutting. Yeah. And much more challenging. I've also had relationships with women that are recreating that dynamic.
Yes.
And it's like, so it's never just one or the, it's like, it's a mix.
It's a mix, and context matters. Like
I find them both interesting.
Yeah, they are very interesting. Who did you have to be in order to get your father's love or attention?
Well, see, like I never felt like I really got my dad's love.
So what did you think you had to do in order to get it?
Be perfect, be a great provider, be incredibly handsome, be a perfect everything.
Good at sports too? Good at school?
Good at everything.
Good at everything.
Good at everything.
And then you would be rewarded.
Yeah, and it was never enough.
Yes.
But you get on that train, that treadmill where you're like trying to win, trying to get his approval.
Yes.
And you end up in a relationship where
you're doing the exact same thing.
You're doing the exact same thing, and I recognize that, and it's intoxicating.
Yeah.
It's intoxicating.
What's intoxicating about it?
It's like you're recreating what you were doing when you were 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, it's familiar.
It's familiar. So, familiar, but it feels like that's my drug. Mm-hmm. That's something you're supposed to be doing. And I recognized that it was unhealthy, but God damn it, it felt right.
Did it though?
In a toxic, neurotic, unhealthy way.
Did it though? Or was there a lot of suffering too?
A lot of suffering, a lot of growing.
A lot of growing.
I grew more in that relationship than any relationship I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And it was one of my favorite relationships because of it. Like when you're really challenged in a relationship, it's seared into your psyche.
You like a challenge.
I love a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always appreciated a female that can be a real challenge.
But you like a challenge just in general in life.
In life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, with my work, with my relationships, with my everything.
Right. And that's, so then you think if I'm not being challenged, then something must be wrong.
I get bored.
Yeah, you get bored.
There's nothing wrong. There's probably a lot of things right, but I'm just bored.
Yes. So you date a lot of women. You date women with a lot of problems?
I've done that, for sure. Yeah. It would be refreshing to date a woman who has a lot of things going on in her life, like I do.
Yeah.
So then that becomes a different set of challenges.
Yeah.
That would be refreshing.
Yeah.
Rather than the broken birds that you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Because those are easy for me to find. I'm interviewing them every day.
Yes.
You know.
Are you usually attracted to the broken bird?
No, I recognize the problems that are there, but I've done 10,000 interviews, and there's been one that